guys, I'm Cory Oliver. Thanks for watching the Coriolis Effect. Please hit the subscribe button below, and we hope you like this episode. I also want to thank BeverlyHillsBalm.com, which is my partner in my business, for supporting our show. It is BeverlyHillsBalm.com, and it's a jumbo lip balm, which is fantastic. This is the original. It's very, very smooth and yummy. It has 5 ingredients in it. That's it, 5. Smells so good. It's peppermint. And you can put this on your cheeks, your lips. You can use it on your hands. You can use it on your elbows. You can put it on your split ends. I've had so many people write in with a lot of different usages for this balm. It's kind of an all-inclusive balm, although we kind of use it for our lips and cheeks as well, because we do have a pink. So I do have it on. I just put it on my cheeks and my lips. This actually is a great little trick if you are married and you are you just washed your face and you want to go to bed and look kind of fresh and fun. You can leave this on your skin all night long. Just put on your cheeks, it gives you a little color, and put on your lips, it gives you a little color. This is our pink shimmer. Has a little bit of mica in it, so it's kind of shiny and shimmery, but this is BeverlyHillsBalm.com. We thank you also for supporting our show. Today's episode is brought to you by Aqua 9 Plus All Natural Ionic Mineral Alkaline Drinking Water. Aqua 9 Plus is one of the first and only all natural ionic mineral bottled drinking waters in the world. It has one of the highest and most stable pH of any bottled water on the market, with a pH ranging from 9.5 to 10. And I gotta tell you, besides tasting great, high alkaline water has so many positive health benefits. It increases your endurance, it deactivates pepsin in the body, which helps reduce the occurrences of upset stomachs. It neutralizes pesticides and fungicides on produce. It increases oxygen delivery throughout the body, and it helps reduce heartburn and indigestion. When you consider that coffee can have a pH as low as 2, which is very acidic, that pH can be neutralized by using high pH water. And a medical study has suggested that alkaline ionized water may have benefits for people with high blood pressure, diabetes, and high cholesterol. You can go to aqua9plus.com. That's AQUANINEPLUS.com to find the nearest store that sells Aqua 9 Plus All Natural Ionic Mineral Alkaline Drinking Water. They also sell a home water system which produces purified ionic mineral 9.5 plus pH drinking water naturally directly in your home without the use of electricity.
And you
wow,
can also
that's cool.
Yeah, and you can also find filling stations at local grocery stores. If you go to their website, aqua9plus.com, they'll tell you where the nearest filling station is near you. So you go there with a 5-gallon jug or a 2-gallon jug, pay your money, and it fills it up, and it lasts for a couple of weeks.
There's actually one at Air One. There's all the Air Ones. It's a great water. It's really great water. It actually tastes great. We are grateful to have them on the show and supporting us.
Yes.
But I also love their water.
No, their water tastes great.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Cory. What the heck's on your chest?
Oh, I was wondering when you were gonna notice this. Been here all morning. You haven't noticed this?
No, I haven't. Is it a heart?
No, it's actually a décolleté pad.
Oh.
And you put it on at night when you sleep. And it has this gel on it. And what? Infused with collagen and all kinds of good things.
What do it do?
And hold on, I'm going to get you the pack.
Great, you just half fell off the table twice. That was very graceful.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's not my middle name. But it's this little décolleté pad.
Décolleté? Is that French
décolleté? Yeah,
Defense
Pro. Yeah, and you can reuse it.
Okay.
This is not a commercial, by the way. I slept with it on last night.
Because they are not one of our sponsors.
They are not, but I slept with it on last night. A friend of mine gave it to me, and I'm not really sure if she gave it to me because she's saying, hey, you need to get rid of those wrinkles, or if she wants me to prevent them. She's a good friend, though, and I do love you, Michelle.
Is cleavage wrinkle a big deal?
I don't have that. But
do women get cleavage wrinkle? I've never heard that.
Cleavage wrinkle is a very big deal.
I've seen bad skin when they're out in the sun too long and it gets leathery, but
yeah, and
wrinkles?
Yes, because as you sleep, I sleep on my side, and if you sleep on your side, it can tend. What's wrong? Why are you laughing?
Because Irina yells at me. First of all, Irina's a very lovely woman.
Beautiful.
There's nothing wrong.
Oh my gosh, his wife is gorgeous.
When I sleep on my side, I always put my face at the edge of the pillow so I can breathe because the pillow comes up and covers my nose.
Yeah.
And she looks at me and goes, don't do that. Why? She goes, you're scrunching up the skin by your eye and you're going to get wrinkles.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, can I just please go to sleep? She goes, no,
Yeah.
you're sleeping wrong. I'm like, apparently I put my head on the pillow wrong, and that's going to cause me wrinkles.
Yeah, you two are so cute. I just love it.
Now,
But
that being told, my wife has a beautiful face.
she's stunning. Oh my
Which-
gosh.
She cheats, by the way, because every 30 minutes a night, she does face exercises.
Oh, me too. Does she really?
Where you go and you like scrunch your face and do all these crazy
Oh, no, I don't
things.
touch it. I'm just like,
Oh, no.
all those
I walk in and she's got her hands like stretching her mouth out and doing all these, but she's got this program that she follows on the internet with these famous people who do whatever they do.
She looks fantastic.
I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying it looks very funny when she does it.
Well, maybe I'll give you one of these. You can just slap this on the side of your face when you sleep. Anyway, it's actually effective and it works really well. And you know what? I love it. So
Okay,
thank
great.
you to my
So
friend.
let's call them up and get them a sponsorship.
Well, I'm just saying, like it does work real good. Is it all red now from that?
No, it looks great.
It's amazing.
Yes.
So today I'm very, very excited to have another one of my beautiful friends, wonderful friends on, Ryan the Lion Lilly. He is an pro MMA fighter.
Your beautiful friend who can kick the living snot
Yeah,
out of anybody
can.
on the planet.
He can.
Yes.
And he's very
And
protective. That whole group of guys are very protective. He's an amazing, accomplished fighter and just a really good guy. And I don't want to make him feel embarrassed by saying this, so I'll say it now. He's very, very kind. And he reminds me of, there's a saying in the Bible, whatever you do not do for me, you do not do for the least of me. And he's always doing for people that are, not able to do. And he just understands and he gets it. And so here's this big, strong guy who's, I guess he's in the 135, 145 weight, middleweight, I guess. Right?
I don't know what the weightings are, but
And
135 to 145 is
he's
a very
packs
light
a punch,
male.
though. He packs a punch. Maybe it's lightweight, but he is.
Well, I think, again, I haven't wrestled since high school, but lightweight, I'll have to look it up because I think lightweight is under 135.
Yeah, so he might be middleweight, but
there's lightweight, there's featherweight, there's all these weights. I don't know the term, but I'll put them up on the screen what the different weights and the weight classes are. But so
anyway, he has quite the testimony,
Okay.
and he's been through a lot, and so I can't wait to talk to him and share his testimony and just
what I find interesting is I'm sure he's a very lovely guy and very nice and caring.
Why
And
he's
then
my friend.
No, yeah, well that too, but no, then he gets in the ring and becomes this like lethal monster that will like come after you with no fear and no hesitation.
And that's one of my questions, which we'll talk about when he gets here. But I agree with you. Like, I used to watch Ariana, my daughter, play water polo, and she's the sweetest, kindest, most caring, loving, generous person ever. And then she'd get in the pool, and I'd be like, "Who are you?" And she just was amazing.
First of all, usually males and some females, there's a sports switch.
Competitive, yeah.
Yes, but it's when you're like I play hockey, so when you're in the rink, it's a totally different mindset. And there have been times where we've been playing the other team. Now, I've been playing in the same leagues for 20 years, so you know everybody in the leagues, and you're friendly with them. But when they're not wearing your color jersey, they're not your friends. Yeah. So we had times where we get in there, guys pushing me, I'm pushing back, and also we get into a fight, and we're like dropping the gloves and going after each other. And then an hour later, we're all in the bar drinking, and people come up and goes, "Aren't you guys fighting?" We go, "That was in the rink.
Yeah,
we're not in the rink anymore.
Yeah.
We've been friends for 20 years. Yeah. So there is a switch you turn on. The trick is you got to learn to turn it off when you leave the rink or when you leave.
Girls aren't quite as good as that. Yeah. They're like, "Wait a minute, I know we were playing a game, but remember when you blah blah blah?" Yeah. It's kind of funny.
Come by your house. No, that was the old Rodney Dangerfield joke. Those guys are tough.
Who's Rodney Dangerfield?
Yeah, some old comedian.
I'm just kidding.
But he said, those guys aren't tough. My school was tough. After they sacked the quarterback, they went after his family.
Yeah, yeah, I know, right? So I'm excited about Ryan Lilly, Ryan the Lion Lilly. He really is a lion in the ring, right? Yeah. And also, you haven't mentioned my dress.
I was waiting for a time to mention it. You have a
very
very lovely
dress on.
Have you worn that before?
I have worn this before on 66.
That's
Yes, it is. Thanks for setting me up, which is a daily occurrence here on the Coriolis Effect. But yes, this is my one of 5 dresses that I wore on Beverly Hills Pawn, and they graced the 66 episodes. And this particular one, I have 3 of.
Okay.
And I actually helped the company design it.
Nice.
Yeah, and so the company that designed it is called Stop Staring. They have a website, stopstaring.com. I know you want to say so much right now. I can see your face.
Aptly named.
Stopstaring.com. They have beautiful dresses. And I went to the owner and I said, listen, I want
And they have another line of dressing that says my face is up here.
No, I wanted something with a sweetheart neck and that covered my arms and that covered to my knees. You know, of course, the show wanted something different, but we came to a agreement, and so we pulled a couple different dresses together and put them together. So these are really 3 of like, you know, one of a kinds. If that doesn't make sense.
Okay, so does the company sell dresses like that, or they don't make that?
You know,
style
oddly
anymore?
enough, I don't think they actually sold this particular dress.
Okay.
So I'm giving this one away. I'll still have 2 left, but I would.
It's a one of a kind.
It's a 3 of a one of a kind.
I was going to say that you have 3 of.
Yes. Yes, but what number are we getting to give this dress away?
Okay, so what we'll do is
put everyone into a
sort of people who watch the show at some time during this episode, you will give out a code word, and if people put in the comment section that code word,
we'll enter those into.
They get entered into a drawing,
okay.
And when we get say 5,000 number off the top of my head. Comments with that code. Now, keep in mind, the code word is going to change every episode. So you have to watch the episode.
Okay.
And we're not going to tell you when it comes in. So you got to watch the episode. It's our little way of getting people to watch the episode. And then when we get 5,000 comments with the code, we'll take all the names on the air. We'll put all the names in a hat or a slips paper. You'll pull it out, and we'll give the dress to that person.
Yes, I will give the dress with a signed Beverly Hills Pond card, poster card. And and it's
certificate of authenticity.
Yes, a certificate of authenticity. Very well. Have you been watching my show?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, you know, thanks so much for your support.
Irene and I actually have been watching a bunch of them.
Oh, okay.
But they're hard to find because we don't have. They're not always on the reels. We've been looking into YouTube and their little clips and stuff.
Right.
Well, I saw the one with you and what's the guy's name?
There were a lot of guys.
I want to say Nossi, but it's not Nossi.
Oh, Yossi.
Yossi.
Yes.
Nossi is a very good Brazilian guitar player.
Yes.
But Yossi was overly flirtatious with a woman, and you just sat in the background like, let's go, get out of here. And you were getting really upset with him. If I can find that episode, I'll put it up. But it was a very good one. That's pretty much
every episode. Yeah. But anyway, I love Yossi. So that's exciting. I'm excited about. I'm actually happy to give one of these away. Yes. I am. It's okay.
Can you tell the size, just so the females, if they want it?
Well, the size is kind of it's a small, considered a small, but it's a stretchy dress.
Okay. So
believe me, I'm stretched into this. I've got Spanx on. Everything's hoisted. So, you know, you'll be able to fit in it. And so I'm very excited about that.
Okay.
Ryan today, and we're giving away this dress. And do we want to even say what the code word is now so they can look for it?
No, we want to say sometime during the show we'll announce the code word.
Do I get to know the code word?
Yeah, you're the one who's going to say the code word.
What is it?
I haven't decided yet. The reason we're doing it is a shameless attempt to get people to watch the entire show. So they don't know. If you tell it now, they'll turn the show off and just go punch in the comment. You got to get them watching it towards the end.
Or you could just fast forward until you see the big giant code word.
No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to put it up there.
Yes, we are.
No, because then people will fast forward and look for it. Yeah. You say 3 times.
Sorry, you guys, but I have to digress. This is one of my producers. So.
Are there others?
Yes.
You are one of your producers?
I'm counting myself. I can't even. Oh my gosh. It's.
I'll turn the fan on once we stop taking.
Are we going to talk about anything that's going on in the world today?
Yes,
because I just want to touch a little bit on a couple subjects. Okay. I know that there's been a huge outrage over a couple different things this past week. And
what's new in the news?
What's new in the news? And it's probably going to be old by the time that we air this in a day, because that's how fast news comes and goes these days. But I just want to say one little thing. There's been a whole struggle with an Uber driver situation. It's very, very sad. And I'm not going to speak to both sides or both parties. I will just say this. There was a lot of upheaval about what was going to happen to the 2 teenage girls that hijacked this Uber and unfortunately left a man dead,
right,
who was 66 years old. His name was Mohammed Anwar. And he had a wife, 3 children, and 4 grandchildren. And so I believe that the girls are are being charged with a felony murder and what's it called?
Manslaughter?
Concealed
Oh,
weapon.
concealed weapon?
Yeah. And so I'm not 100% sure I read that in an article, but this is our whole point of having this show, was to try to somehow bring some unity to people and in general, and to respect others and their property and their beliefs and all who they are. And so, I just wanted to speak to this and say that I'm very sorry that this happened, and I'm hoping and praying that the world can, somehow get back to some sort of normalcy. And
right. Well, what's going to happen is now they're going to decide whether they try them as adults or kids, because they're 13 and 15.
Right.
My problem is our society has become more focused on filming the event than intervening in the event.
Yes.
And if you watch any of the video, the first time I saw it, the clip that you originally sent me when it happened, they showed the guy on the ground. Now when the news show it, they kind of gray it out or blur it out. But everybody was videotaping it. And nobody got in and helped. And there was an old joke when Rodney King in LA, it was either Chris Rock or I can't remember who did it, said, "Hey, put down the camera and help me."
Yeah.
And that was the police. And it's kind of hard to put down a camera and stop the police from doing something. But these are two girls who were obviously trying to steal a car. And there are dozens of people.
Taser involved.
Yeah, they tasered him, but there are dozens of people around, and all they do is film it. Nobody walked up and said, "Get out of the car, it's his car." And then what is really bad is that when you see the guy run down with the camera, and then you see after the car is crashing on its side, and all of the National Guard are saying, "Get away from the car." There's a man lying in the street. Nobody went up to him to say, "Are you all right?" or "How's he doing?"
Yes.
And, I don't know.
It's devastating.
Yeah. Now, I get the National Guard didn't know what was going on. They saw a car crash. They didn't know if the girls were properly in the car or not properly.
You can see someone's been injured.
Right. So they did help the girls out, and they didn't let them get away, and I get that. People ran up and said, "They just stole this car. We watched the whole thing." You immediately detain these two women and figure out what's going on next. But
Actually,
you go to the guy.
Go to the guy.
Yeah, go to the guy and see if he's all right.
We have to get back to helping one another and serving one another and caring for one another. We've been so immersed in iPhone, iBook, I, me. And listen, I'm guilty of it myself, but I just wanted to pay respects to his family and let them know that we're praying for them and thinking about them and
the girls that did it were so concerned about their phone.
I know.
There was a story years ago. It was a woman in Australia who, let's see if I get the story right. She was driving and she was on her phone texting or something and got into a car crash. And I'm not sure if the guy died or was put in the hospital, very injured. And she was in front of the judge, and the judge sentenced her to 30 days this or 30 days without your phone. And she went online and said, "Oh, I'm not going to get my phone for 30 days. Not even caring about that person she hurt. And the judge brought her back in and said, "Okay, now you're going 6 months in jail." Because of her comment of, "Oh, now I can't do it with my phone for 30 days.
Oh, there's a judge out there then.
Yeah, well, he's in Australia, but yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. Yeah. Oh, which, by the way, not to completely segue, but Australia is completely open. No masks, nothing.
Good.
Yes.
Good, we're getting there. We got a couple states.
Well, thank you, Bob, for just being who you are.
Well, I thank you, Cory, for being who you are and recognizing that I am who I am.
Okay.
You want to be who I am?
Ryan to
I'm
get
a smart
you.
ass. That's who I am. What are you going to do?
You are, but I love you. Thanks.
Okay, so we got Ryan Lilly. He's going to come in here and beat the snot out of both of us.
That's right. You better watch yourself.
I know, really.
He's my friend. He is my friend.
I will apologize in advance to our listeners, but I think my smart aleckism is going to be toned very well down when Ryan's in the room.
Yeah, it'll be a real quiet show with no Bob. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I tell you, once when I got divorced before I met Irina, I dated a woman, and I don't think she was MMA fighter, but she was a kickboxer or anything else.
Oh, gosh.
And I went, and I didn't go out with her again, not because of that other reason, but my friends, why not? She's a kickboxer.
Yeah.
I said, I don't want to date somebody who could literally kill me because I say a lot of things that not a lot of people like. And
you wouldn't survive one minute.
Yeah. I have small dogs because I know a big dog would attack me. So yeah, my sense of humor would get my rear end kicked by any female who could kick my rear end, and there are plenty of them.
All right. Well, on that note.
As my dad always told me, never date the smart ones or never marry the smart ones. My advice to my son is don't marry anybody who can beat you up, because you have my sense of humor and they will beat you up.
I'm going to go ahead and say that, Irina, you are extremely smart.
Yes.
Very smart. Yes. So.
Well, no, I failed that twice. I married two very smart women.
You
That's
did.
the problem.
And I'm going to go with Irina. Always.
Yes, I know. I know. But I'll trick you.
Okay.
Okay, Ryan Lilly, and we'll be back in a few. Let's start the show.
Yeah, so let's start the show. I'm very, very, I always say this, I'm very excited, but I do get very excited, and I am very excited to have Ryan the Lion Lilly in the house today.
Thank you.
Ryan Lilly, he's a pro MMA fighter.
Yes.
Like you are our first. I feel like I'm virgin interviewing you because
And what scares the hell out of me, I sit here and crack jokes.
There you go.
Well, you could kill me in 2 seconds, so I may not be cracking the same jokes I normally would.
We prefaced this in an earlier little interview saying that, you're going to have Bob on his best behavior.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. It's all good.
I'm going to start testing the waters a little slowly and see where we go.
And let me just say, for the sake of argument, I've been to one of Ryan's fights.
I've seen him.
It was the CXF fight we just talked about in Burbank.
For the bantamweight title fight.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't go my way, but we were going to have a rematch. Which day was it? I forget the date. It was in early April, and April 13th. Friday, it would have been Friday the 13th. And then the whole COVID happened, so that got pushed back.
Hey, and before you start, we had a discussion before you came in. Can you explain the weight classes and what the weights are real quick?
Yeah, so you got bantamweight, which is 135, which is I fight at.
135 and under?
As you show up at 135,
Okay.
you get 1 pound allowance.
Okay.
So typically, if I fight at 135, I'm walking around like 155-ish. And then I cut 20 pounds to make that weight. So I should say weigh-ins is on a Friday and the event's on a Saturday. Come Saturday, I can be up to like 152. So it's
How long does it take you to get from 155 to 135?
Several weeks, but at the end of the day, it's really just a water weight. So the last 48 hours is really when the pounds are coming off.
Get in there and spit. Come on, you got to make weight.
Exactly. Yeah, sit in the sauna.
I went from 165 to 145 in 2 weeks in high school.
Yeah.
To wrestle at 145.
Yeah,
All right, so bantamweight
is 135. Yeah, in boxing it's a little different because they have so many weight classes and stuff like that. But in MMA it goes bantamweight 135, featherweight 145, lightweight 155, and then 170 is welterweight and middleweight.
Okay, so welterweight
would be 170
and below. And then heavyweights above?
Correct. Heavyweight, light heavyweight is at 205. Anything over 205 would be light heavyweight or heavyweight.
Okay, so you go 205 to 500 if you wanted to.
No.
Or is there an upper limit?
Yeah, I think 265 is about the heavyweight.
So you can't, like, a sumo wrestler can't get in there and
fight. I thought you could be like 300 pounds.
Okay. Interesting.
Well, I've had the privilege of watching this man fight. And, tell us about that fight because...
But first...
Well, sorry. But first...
You're doing this how long?
I know. I think I'm a rookie. It's a rookie mistake. You see that right below me? Rookie mistake. We have a fear of word.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have to guess it because I've been told I'm not allowed.
You can allow, you just don't know it.
You have the word already?
I have the word already.
I'm going to have to guess it?
Well, he'll tell
Guess
you.
what it is.
Algophobia.
Algophobia sounds like...
Algophobia.
It's
A-L-G-O phobia.
the fear of math. The fear of algebra.
Yeah, algebra phobia. No.
No.
But now the trick is it's always particular to the guest.
Right.
And you do not have this fear.
Hold on, so say that one more time. It's
Algophobia. It is the fear of pain.
Oh.
Yeah, you
not
did not
something
have
you're
it.
aware
Yeah,
of.
I don't know if I've heard that word.
Which is really, to my point where I was just talking about. That's a good one, Bob. Good one. You had a fight in Burbank. It was a CFX fight. I was there. Got to see it. I couldn't wait. I was so excited.
For the title?
Yep, for the title. And, I mean, you would have won, in my opinion.
It was
but
going
it was
both ways. I thought I won... how was it? I think I was winning round 1.
Mhm.
At the beginning of round 2, he kicked me straight in the groin. So I took a couple minutes off that. And then he got me with a good punch with a good to the eye. And then at the beginning of the 3rd round, they ended up calling it because my eye swelled up.
Yes.
Which in MMA, we're running 4-ounce gloves. Of course, that's going to happen.
MMA is a 3-round fight?
This was a 3-round fight, yeah. 3 5-minute rounds. So 15 minutes with 4-ounce gloves. 2 professionals going at it in the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I just knew, but that was a great
You think
fight.
if he had not called it, you think you would have won?
It was
Yes.
close. It was going to be close, yeah. I thought it could have gone either way for sure.
Could you see out of your eye?
Yeah, I could see out of it. Yeah, and they asked me that. Can you see fine? I'm like, yeah, I could see. I'm like, is it blurry? Yeah, but I could see. I'm ready to fight. I still want to fight.
I was in the audience going, "Dear Heavenly Father God, please keep his eyes safe." I was
Yeah,
like totally praying.
was fun.
I was just
Corey
like,
said, "Dear Heavenly Father, I've never asked you for anything, but please let Ryan kick
Yeah,
the next guy." I know I don't ask you very much, but please let him destroy the other
It's
side.
so funny.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm a huge boxing fan and I love the fights. These take it to a whole other level. When they came out with the cage fighting and the ultimate, fighting and all those, really you are white knuckling it as an audience.
Right. Well, and that's not just boxing, with respect to the boxers, because it's just, but it's like one dimensional. And here I'm going to have to worry about an elbow, a knee, a shin to the chin.
Did you start out boxing?
I started wrestling, growing up wrestling,
Wrestling,
yeah.
okay.
And then I also was playing basketball. Thought I was going to be in the NBA. Realized I wasn't black. And
How tall are you?
exactly. 5'7". 5'7".
Hey, Muggsy.
Yeah, Muggsy Bones. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I wasn't even that good. I mean, I was good in basketball, only to a certain, extent. And we won a couple championships. Okay. I tried out for freshman high school basketball team. Didn't make it. I was really upset, as I literally didn't make the tryouts. The wrestling tryouts were happening at the same time, and they brought me in, and I made varsity as a freshman.
Wow.
Got my butt kicked every day in practice, but it made me who I am today, and I was grateful.
Steps a day, and
so yeah, it was fun.
Well, I can't believe you just actually.
I said it very politely.
We do this all the time.
I said it very politely. By the way, he doesn't look so tough.
I've been to his fight.
I know. I shouldn't say that.
And one of the things I love about Ryan, the first time I met him, he shared with me his testimony.
Mm-hmm.
And it had me in tears in my kitchen, I remember. Because for someone to go through what you've gone through, which you're going to share it, and then come out being a pro MMA fighter, it takes a lot of courage and a lot of dedication and a lot of heart. And so tell our listeners and our audience, kind of what you've gone through and how you draw on that.
I would say the biggest thing is I was very close with both my parents, by the way. I could tell them anything, good or bad. And, the biggest thing is I could say is, it's too easy to quit. Anybody can go quit.
People don't know your story, though. Your parents. What?
No, 100%. And so with my dad and my mom was my best friend, along with my dad. And I lost my dad in 2012 to a brain tumor. I was 22 years old when I lost him. And as fast as it came, it took him away. So by the time they opened up for surgery and stuff like that, he never spoke again. And it took his life, which it really sucked. It was really hard on me for a little while. After that happened, I had my first amateur fight. It was actually in Agora at the Sheraton right here. And this is after 1 year of just training for MMA. I'm like, oh, get me a fight. And my mom was like my biggest fan, And my mom didn't make it to my first fight, but I had my first fight. And then, I just had that drive. And right then and there, I was just like, this is what I want to do. And my mom became my biggest fan. Within a year of that, my mom ended up getting breast cancer, and she fought her ass off, the strong woman that she was. Did really good. We thought that she was going to beat it, had chemotherapy and all that. And then she kept telling her doctors, I don't feel good. And the doctors were like, yeah, it's fine with chemo and radiation. You're not going to feel the best. The whole time it was spreading to her lungs. So 3 years after losing my dad, I lost my mom to breast cancer. So losing both my parents to cancer. Shortly after that, I had 13 amateur fights between that period of time, between my dad passing away, and then decided to turn pro in mixed martial arts in April 2016. So my mom didn't get to see my pro debut, but she got to see me do a lot of amateur fights, and she actually came to one of my last amateur fights, saw me get the W, bloody war, fight of the night, and then a week after that, she passed away. And she told me in the locker room before the fight, which I was in my head, I'm like, God, I didn't know they would let her back here, but she was like, this is the last fight, Ryan, I get to watch you at. So, like,
really,
go give it a all, and, thank God I won.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, thank God I won. But
that's intense. I
know they're watching, they're up above watching. And the only thing that really saved my life was just going to the gym, because that's the only thing that got my mind free. I also install alarms, cameras, surveillance. My dad taught me all that stuff. So anytime I'd go do that, it would just bring back memories of being with my dad. So really just going to the gym was really the only thing that got my mind focused. And anyone in life, if they're going to anything, go to a boxing class or kickboxing class, because it'll really change your life for sure.
It actually...
Would you explain to me and our listeners the differences between mixed martial arts, between kickboxing, and what obviously boxing, it's hands only, and it's everything stomach above, right, or waist above.
Yeah, so boxing is just strictly hands. So you got no elbows, no knees, no kicks, just strictly hands, which is very, again, technical because sitting there and just keeping your hands up for the period of time is, trust me, it's hard. So in MMA, you got wrestling, kickboxing, boxing, all on one. So I'm not just worried about someone's hands. I'm worried about someone's legs, someone's elbows, knees.
What can you not do in MMA?
You can't headbutt. You can't eye gouge. You can't bite. You can't kick to the groin.
But you got a kick to the groin.
I've been
Unintentional.
Yeah, I've been kicked several times to the groin. It happens. We're wearing a cup.
Kickboxing, no elbows or.
And some kickboxing, yeah. So they have kickboxing and like Thai boxing, yeah. So those are pretty much the same. Some you can't use your elbows, correct?
Okay.
But most of them, it's just knees and punches. But in like Thai boxing and stuff like that, you'll have your elbows, knees, punches,
Your feet
and kicks.
And kicks, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, but you're at the level where MMA, there's nothing past MMA where you could do more stuff.
Correct. Yeah. The only thing that I can't do is just bite, eye gouge, and headbutt, pretty much.
And you're in an octagon.
An octagon, yeah. Yep. In a cage.
So a little fun
Nowhere to
fact.
run.
I always go fun fact. I know it is cage fighting.
Yeah. There's no timeouts, I should say.
Yeah. Well, and do you do tap outs or does it the go?
I mean, you can tap out, or if you don't tap out, like if I'm being choked out, my arm being like put in an arm bar, I have the decision to tap out.
Yeah, you feel it's gonna break or something.
If I don't, then it can break, or if the referee feels like he's really like I'm in a bad position, then he can.
Now, is tap out a style of fighting?
No,
no, because I see these tap out shirts. I don't know if it's a brand name.
Yeah. It's just a brand.
Okay. But they have tap out fights, don't they?
No.
Okay. It's just a way to say.
Yeah, we're just gonna go in and tap out.
You never want to say my fighting style is tap out.
No.
No, you don't want to. Okay.
That's
That's a rookie comment. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't say that.
Well, it's really is like you're using every single solitary muscle, and I did a little guest star appearance on a show called Pacific Blue.
Okay.
Probably before your time, but one of the questions they asked me when I was auditioning was, "Can you kickbox?" And I was like, "Oh, yes. Of course I can."
Any good actress will say, "Sure."
Of course I can.
Well,
and then I went home and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I can't kickbox." So they gave me a crash course from Friday to Sunday.
Okay.
Well, we had to shoot on Monday, and I couldn't walk. And I had to get in kickboxing mode.
You've been using
so it's
muscles
actually
you've
a
never used
really
before.
good workout.
Yeah. You're turning your body, and a lot of if I'm just punching like this, I'm not really doing that. I'm using my core and my hip. So people after the first time, because I teach and do a lot of privates and stuff like that. But yeah, they always feel it in their core, their thighs, their hips, especially their back and stuff like that. But yeah, you're using a lot of different movement, which is good for your body.
If you've wrestled, you wrestled in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you wrestle, Corey, wrestling is they say swimming is the most. Wrestling is the worst sport because you use every part of your body, but it's the only sport where you're locked in mortal combat with another guy.
Yeah.
And I remember looking up at the clock trying to pin, and you see 6 and then 5, and you're like, "Whoa, how slow can that clock go?"
That second is not that slow. Yeah, right.
And amateur. When I started amateurs, there are 2-minute rounds. You're thinking 3 2-minute rounds. 2-minute rounds.
The longest 2 minutes
That's
of your life.
The longest. Yeah. 5 minutes goes by quicker than that 2 minutes does. I promise.
Because it's constant muscle contraction when you're with a guy. In MMA, you get the snot kicked out of you, but you separate sometimes. You can breathe.
And the MMA is 3 rounds of 2 minutes.
3 5-minute rounds.
5-minute rounds.
Amateur, which is MMA, is just beginners.
So when you're
they also have a 5-round.
5, yeah. So that's normally for like the UFC championship fights.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Corey.
No, it's okay. You do it all the
So
time.
normally, if you're the main event
this
or
is
like
man
the
talks, Corey.
championship,
We'll talk.
yeah, it's 5-minute rounds. So that's 25 minutes. It's almost like 2 fights.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. So it's.
Well, what's boxing? 15 rounds of 2 minutes? Or?
Yeah, it's like 15 or 12 rounds. Some are like 9 rounds. Some are 12 rounds. Some are like 15, I think. But normally they're 12.
It's Tyson, then it was like a round.
I love boxing. I'm a huge boxing fan. One of my favorite boxers, well, I have several, but Roy Jones, of course, Angel Man Freddy. He kind of reminds me of him. Did you just watch his last fight? Yeah, no, he's amazing.
Roy Jones?
Yeah.
Did you watch his last fight?
Yeah. I love him.
Yeah, he did good. No matter what they're gonna call it.
I'm telling her to keep her hand away from her mouth because he's on camera.
They were gonna call it a draw, I believe, but they both. I mean, Mike Tyson won.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they both got paid, and
it
was cool. It was more just to like go and watch them.
It's
perform
a payday.
And two legends, going out there.
Actually, a little fun fact about Mike Tyson. I had the opportunity once to go to a press conference of his, and I was blown away. He's very smart, articulate. He's funny. He's witty, and they edit all of that out to make him look like this barbaric person, and he's actually not.
Yeah, he had his own show in Vegas. I heard it was like extremely, like really, really good.
He's
Like a
very
radio show, talk
articulate.
show, or-
Yeah, like a talk show. Yeah, like
Really?
he was just a talk show, and it was I think Boss Rutan did it one time, and yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't mess around, but the
Those
media is
old
very good at
stories.
editing, this, barbaric guy, which he's really not. He's a great fighter. Yeah, and I miss the boxing
Yeah,
matches.
yeah.
Let's go to Vegas.
There's still a couple fights out there that I don't really care for the Mayweather too much, even though he's a legend in his own.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see him now. That you got the Logan Paul, Jake Paul out there trying to the YouTube stars trying to box.
Yeah.
It's just for money. I mean,
Right, yeah.
let's go get paid.
But I would assume boxing's a way bigger payday than MMA, right?
Yeah, depending on what it is. Yeah, I still don't understand that. I don't get it. It's just like they're doing like
Boxing's been around for 2,000 years. MMA's what? 20,
yeah,
30?
but in boxing they. The guy would be like 30-0, but really, who has he really fought? He's
Right.
fighting guys that they're just feeding him, making this big
Yeah, because they get to
undefeated
pick who
name.
they fight, right?
Yeah, like Mayweather, he's picked all his fights. And,
I think it's the hype behind it. It's the
It's the
dance they
hype.
make. It's the
Yeah.
because I
It's the
actually
Don King behind it.
But
I
I mean,
did- exactly.
McGregor was making a lot of money because the hype.
Mhm.
He knows how to talk and sell a fight, and
And it put pay-per-view on the map
yeah.
when they
Oh,
started
of
having
course it
boxing. Yeah,
did.
they were making millions and millions of dollars just by hyping it up.
Oh yeah. So Ryan,
bad blood cells.
And
yeah.
I'm sorry, and the one guy, Michael, who's the guy that does the announcer? Let's get ready to. Michael, I want to say not Bublé,
Angelo?
but Michael Bubble or something.
Oh, you mean
Bruce Buffer?
Let's get ready to.
Rumble.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't say that.
He's
$40
actually
million just doing that.
But
Yeah.
you can't say that because it's copyrighted.
I didn't say. I said
He's
let's
a-
get ready to.
Oh, I said
no,
Rumble.
no.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ryan.
and he's actually brothers with Bruce Buffer.
Okay.
So his last name is Buffer.
Buffer, yeah, Michael Buffer, right.
Michael Buffer, yeah, and then
Yeah.
Bruce Buffer, and then Bruce Buffer is the UFC announcer.
Is he?
And he still is, but they didn't know they were brothers until like several years ago. So they were both announcers, and then
No way.
found out they're brothers.
Were they separated at birth?
I don't know the whole thing behind it.
Oh.
I got told it once, but I
That's interesting.
yeah.
We lived at different ends of the house and never talked.
So Ryan, how does your manager come to you and say, "Hey, we have this guy, we want you to fight him," or do you get to pick, or do you say, "I want to go after that guy"? What do you do?
Yeah. My main manager is Jason House with Iridium Sports Agency, one of the best out there. They have several UFC fighters. And yeah, he's best friends with Sean Shelby, the UFC matchmaker, so that helps. But yeah, he has a lot of connections. And when I say Iridium Sports Agency, there's really like 6 guys that all run it and stuff like that. So yeah, he'll ask me, "Hey, how you doing? You've been training this and that." Or if I haven't heard from him, like, "Yo, what's up?" Like,
You're ready to fight.
Yeah, the lion's hungry,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Typically, how long in between fights do you take off? Because that's a
I'm-
brutal beating on your body.
I'm used to fighting every 3 to 5 times a year. With this whole COVID thing, I just had the longest layoff of my
Mhm.
MMA career due to COVID.
Right.
Now there's fights, but with no audience. I'm a guy who, you've been to my fights. I sell a lot of tickets. I like walking out there, hearing my name, and
Yeah, it's
stuff like
a
that.
crowd,
and
I'll tell you.
not only that, it's
Fun show.
it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I got my people here.
Yeah.
So I got the chance to fight with no crowd. It was definitely different. What I
Yeah.
do like is I could hear a pin drop and I could hear my coaches.
Mm.
But what I also don't like is I could hear my everything, my opponent's coaches as well. So, all right, do this. I mean, unless they're Brazilian or Russian or something, but then they're like, "Oh, we'll do this to him." I'm like, "Well, screw that. We'll do that to you." So
And I would imagine there's no ring girls.
there
There's
is,
COVID.
there
Oh,
is,
there
there
Okay.
is.
I don't care. COVID, schmovid. We're not getting rid of the ring girls.
Yeah, we need as fighters need something.
Yeah, we don't even need the fighters. We just have the ring girls
Yeah.
out there.
Oh yeah. I ain't
I
fighting no
know.
ring girl. So yeah, my last fight was just in Florida, Palm Beach, Florida.
I saw that.
So nice out there.
How long ago?
Like in the January 30th.
Okay.
And the ring girls out there, they're all from Montreal, and they have 5 ring girls. I'm like, why you guys need 5 ring girls? I'm like, I ain't complaining, but yeah, I ain't complaining.
Yeah,
you know,
don't even
but,
bring it up, or
yeah.
they'll be gone. They'll be 4.
Yeah, so I love it, and what really brought me to MMA was, like I say, playing basketball and in team sports, and team, there's always someone to blame, or the guy travel, or pass the ball to the wrong guy or something like that. In MMA, there's no one else to blame
Mm-hmm.
but yourself. So if you lost, I'm looking around, I'm like,
What
that's
can
on
you do
me.
better?
That's on me, my coach, so you have your coaches that are there to help you, management and stuff like that, and your team. But at the end of the day,
I've listened to a lot of MMA guys talk, and they always accept their losses as it was my fault.
mhm.
Very rarely does, I got robbed. They say, look, I
Yeah.
didn't do what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And you train under Boss Rutan?
Boss Rutan, yeah.
And
right here.
and will you please just so Bob
Explain
knows
to Bob.
who Boss Rutan is? Because I mean, I am actually like
Boss
a female,
Rutan.
and
El
I know who
Guapo,
Boss
the handsome
Rutan
one.
is. He's a legend.
He's a UFC Hall of Famer, a legend. Also an actor. Have you ever seen Here Comes the Boom?
Yeah.
Sounds good. So he's the main trainer in there with Kevin James. He's good friends with Kevin James. He was on King of Queens a couple times, a couple episodes and stuff like that. Really funny guy, and like literally he'll treat the guy a bum just like he would the president. So all I gotta say, if Boss Rutan doesn't like you, you did something wrong.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that guy's
He's from somewhere. He's from.
He's from. He put me on the spot.
Sorry.
He's Dutch.
Dutch.
He's from Holland.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah. So super great human being, great coach. He's like, I call him like my overall MMA life coach. Like, you know, if I ever have a fight, or when I always have a fight, I always give him my opponent, and he'll come up, tell me to do some stuff.
And how long have you known the guy, or been with him?
Since 2010.
All right, so if you go into a fight, and you're going to fight Joe Schmo, do you go back all his fights and look at his moves?
Most of them, you know. Like my last opponent, you know, he hasn't fought in a long time. So I'm not going to be like, okay, he's going to be the same fighter he was 4 years ago, because it's pretty much not the case. But yeah, I look at their strong points and their weaknesses, and then I try to, you know, I'll go over that with my team, and then we'll just adapt to that.
And not that this would be fair or unfair, does anybody ever send people to the other camp to watch them rehearse or practice?
No, I've never done that. Has it happened before? I'm sure it has.
But do you have closed sessions when you practice?
Like what, closed doors where people can't come in? I mean, I pretty much know everyone around anyways. Okay. I mean, unless I go to someone else's gym to get a look at, then I have no control over that. You know, that's another thing.
You can see everything I'm doing. It's not going to help you.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I mean, when I'm sparring, I'm not going like 1,000%. And then if I'm going to try a new trick, I ain't going to do it like 8 times in one sparring session. Gotcha. Throw it once in a while here and there, and then, you know. Okay. What doesn't see will
whatever it is, it's working.
What you can't see will land.
So how do you get to the pro title? I mean, how many fights do you have to?
It's just being an amateur fighter, depending on who you are, what's your background, if you're a wrestler, if you came up in, you know, in judo and stuff like that. So it's just pretty much just having a good background, and for one, be able to defend yourself. So like when I got mine, I had my, you know, like a resume going, hey, here's my 13 fights. You have to go online and find a guy who has a pro license to write it off. So when he writes it off, he's literally have confidence that you are capable of doing that. You know, so yeah, he looked at my fights. I had to go to this guy's gym, do a couple moves on the punching bag. I'm like, hey, if you're not comfortable, just look me up on YouTube. He looked me up on YouTube, and by the time I even got home, he texted me, yeah, you're good to go. You know,
so does he become your sponsor, or he just
No. He's just it's one of the things that you have to, as a coach, and you have to have a certain amount of hours of teaching and stuff like that, and criteria that you can get allowed. You have to pay for it, and then you can charge people like me, hey, I'm trying to be a pro fighter, can you sign off on me? He could be like, yeah, give me $500. Luckily for me, I think it was just $100.
That's the way it is to take driving school.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Have you ever, switching gears a little bit, I don't know why I want to know this question, it's kind of a weird question, but have you ever been in a bar brawl?
Yes.
Because honestly, let me just interject this. You were considered a lethal weapon.
Yes, I am. So yeah, I have a license.
Yes.
I've been in a couple bar incident, you know.
Pre-pro, post-pro.
After being,
so
you know.
Do you have to tell them I could kill you, or?
I have, but I mean, if you can't look by looking at my ears, then that's on you. So normally by then, the time anything would happen, they're already too drunk anyway. So you know.
But can you get in trouble by being in a fight?
If I start it, absolutely. I've been in several. I've never been in trouble at all. Thank God.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
You can knock on wood. Because if you don't, now all of a sudden you're on the
exactly.
But you absolutely have the right to defend yourself.
So like, you know, for example, I was leaving a bar, and it was like on like a Wednesday or something, you know, and there was this drunk guy, and he got cut off, right? And he was outside smoking a cigarette, and then pretty much there was like no one even in there. And then I go to close out, and I leave, and he just starts tripping his mouth, blah, 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 you know? And then I'm like, so he starts following me in my truck, and I'm like,
bad idea, man.
Yeah, I'm like, you got the wrong guy, dude. I'm telling you got the wrong guy. He goes, what did you say? I'm like, no. And
a lot of guys in here, you don't want to fight me.
I was actually in my van, and I actually had my gym bag in my back of the van. So I'm like, I see him coming. He's a big older guy, you know? I go to the back of my van to open up the back of my van because I have my gym bag in there to get my mouthpiece. again, I'm
You're
using
ready to
4 ounce.
fight.
I'm using 4 ounce gloves. Not no gloves. You know.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
At least in my teeth.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah,
Yes.
So I go to open it up, and then he rushes me. So I shut my car. I'm like, okay, well, you know. And I tell him like, I fight professionally, dude. You got the wrong guy. Oh, blah blah blah. So I'm like, okay. So the first thing I do, I just go. Whoosh. Again, we're at street fight.
Right.
Yes.
First thing, and he's a lot bigger than I am. First thing I do, I just kick him in the nuts. Boom. He goes. He didn't. He felt it went down a little bit, but he didn't like go down. I'm like, okay. And then
Stay down, buddy.
again, it's when I do get if I do get in a street altercation, I'm not trying to beat him up badly or
No.
give him a black eye, but I'll like nicely make him not want to fight. And so I kept kicking him a couple times in the stomach, and then I was on the side of the bar, and then we ended up being all the way back in front of the bar. By the time it ended, I went to turn around to walk away, and then he went out to get his cell phone, and I was like, and then when he did that, I kind of just blacked out a little bit. A couple seconds later, I ended up with the cell phone. I wasn't trying to break it because I know what it's like to not have a cell phone. So I skid it across the parking lot, knowing that he was going to go run and chase it, which he did go run and chase it. And then I ran into the car, got away. Next time, always, if you shouldn't drive to the bar, but if you do, back in. Don't pull in front. That way, if you need to get out quick, you don't have to back out. You just pull in.
Yeah.
It's a whole different life.
So,
That thought never entered my
No,
mind.
I'm like, oh, I should have. I'm like, I hope I don't hit nobody. So, anyways, like I go home the next day. The bartender hits me up, going, "Oh my God, Ryan, thank you so much for doing that. That guy was a dick." Blah blah blah. He came back in screaming, bleeding, going, "Call the cops! I just got beat up." Blah blah blah. And she was like, "For one, I'm not calling the cops, and for two, fuck you. We're close. Get out." And that was that.
It happens a lot in bars. It's
Yeah,
just
it
that's why I
happens.
asked it because it's people don't know
Yeah.
that you're a fighter, you're
Yeah.
a pro MMA fighter,
Yeah,
right?
1,000 bucks. I mean, I'm pretty well known out here, but once in a while, you'll get a goofball.
Right.
One of the funniest things happened. I have a buddy of mine, Joe, who's about 6'2" and weighs about 240, but has been fighting his whole life. And we play hockey together, so we're at the Kings game, and the Kings get killed by the Ducks, and some guy's mouthing off to him about the Kings. We're like, well, you just got beat by the last place team. And the guy goes after my friend, Joe. Now, Joe's 6'2", and solid. And so he's like throwing his beer on. So Joe just puts him on the ground and starts pounding him.
Yep.
The security rushes down. I get Joe. I said, Joe, there was this very large female. I said, go behind her. And he sneaks out. And the security guard picked this guy up. He's all bloody. He looks at the security and goes, "You're going to let that guy kick my A and get out of here?" And the security guard says, "Nobody. You let him kick your A.
Yep.
Get out of here." He said, "I didn't let him do anything. That was all on you." Yeah,
You gotta always
know who you're fighting, first of all.
not only that, but you always gotta even go out to dinner. You always gotta know like your surroundings. Like, I've been in a lot of altercations. I was like, I'm in Vegas all the time. I was literally there the weekend before all that shooting happened. At Borderline, I'm there all the time on a Wednesday. It was my birthday, November 7th, in 2018.
Yeah.
I get home. I was working. It was Wednesday. I get home. My buddy's like, "Dude, let's go out. Let's go out." I'm like, "I don't want to drive. I'll get you an Uber." I'm like, "All right." So he gets me an Uber to Borderline, and I literally get out the Uber, and the whole shooting happened.
That happened just before you got there.
Yeah, it happened right when I got there. And if I was there a minute earlier, I probably wouldn't have been the first one to get shot at the front door.
Ryan.
So it was on my birthday. So I get out of the Uber, and I'm like, and I hear all the shooting happen. I'm like, oh my God! Immediately get back in the Uber. He's the older driver. He didn't really know what was going on, so I ducked his head, and we're in the parking lot. And then, like about 30 seconds later, the shooting stopped. So I'm like, go, go, go. Have you guys been to Borderline?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're supposed to go right onto the, like Moore Park Road, the freeway. He went straight past the Shell. I'm like, that's a dead end right there, I'm like, so he turned around and we had to stay right there. And then people were literally carrying other people out who were getting shot and stuff like that. I saw the ambulance come. I saw one friend, they were carrying this other guy. So I got out of the car and I was there for a little bit. But
So this was
Azars, right?
Mhm.
Okay. We were there a couple weeks later playing, and two of the bodyguards at Azars were at Borderline, both died.
And just for those of
she was
you
the
listening,
bodyguard, yeah.
Borderline was a country music kind of bar hangout in Thousand Oaks that everybody would go to just for clean fun. I mean, it was Wednesday nights. That was a Wednesday night.
Yeah, it was a Wednesday night. It was like college country night.
Yeah. And it was always just a good time, clean fun, and then some crazy.
And we're in Thousand Oaks, like one of the safest areas, cities, and then that happened.
Yeah, I
right
did not
after
know
that,
you were there.
A guy came in and shot like 10, 15 people, or
I think like 12 people.
12 people died. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Even a cop ended up being shot and passed away.
And it was not too long after the massacre in Las Vegas.
Yeah, literally, I would say a couple months.
Yeah,
probably a couple months. And then after that, literally with like that night, all the woozy fire happened.
Right.
So everyone's house is now getting burnt down. So not only people getting shot, now it's like
we live in a dangerous
now
place.
Thousand Oaks is really on fire.
It really was.
Put Thousand Oaks on the map, but not for a good reason.
Yeah. So I was
Yes.
like, man,
No.
what's going on with my city I represent?
Right. What's going on with the world?
But
Well, so one of my things that I wonder always is, it's when you do something repetitively over and over and over again, you can kind of get a little bit like, I gotta do this again, right? But when you're a fighter, you have to have that same level of adrenaline and enthusiasm and drive each and every time, if not more.
Right.
Because you
gotta
got
be hungry.
Right. Because you now know what it's like to be kicked in the groin.
Mhm.
You know the feeling it's going to promote.
Oh yeah.
You know what it's like to have a broken eye and a busted.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
or take a loss. What a loss tastes like,
Right. And so in those moments, Ryan, and you're in the, fighting and duking it out and you're exhausted and you're like, what mentally do you say to yourself? How do you motivate yourself? What is it that you do other than just pure adrenaline?
It's for one, it's like pretty much all adrenaline, but it's, again, like I said in the beginning, it's too easy to quit. How many of my really good friends I grew up with are doing exactly what I'm doing right now?
None.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go sit at a desk for 8 to 5, or you want to go to the gym and do something that you love. And not only that, I get exercise out of it. Your body's healthy. I'm watching my diet, drinking water, And that's another reason why I like fighting all the time, because I have a bad habit of trying to go out, eating bad, going out to a drink. So if I don't have a fight coming up, I'm like, I don't have to watch my weight right now. Yeah, it's like I don't know the exact word for it, but how it tames me down,
It's accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It keeps you in check.
Yeah,
keeps me in check. Yeah, exactly. And then it goes back to there's no one else to blame but myself.
And my question is, you seem like a very nice guy. Corey says you're the sweetest guy in the world. How do you turn it on? How do you walk in that rink and go from a nice guy to I'm going to kill you?
It's that lion in me, So I mean, if you ever watch my fights or anything, I get that look in my eye where like it's like tunnel vision, where I see a crowd and I know they're there, but the only thing I see is my opponent.
And does that start in the locker room, or does that
start? Yeah, it starts right when I hear my song, right when I walk out, I'm like, it's on.
What's your
song?
song?
Pregame?
I have a lot of different songs. Yeah, my last one I walked out to is DMX. Yeah.
Was that so I actually
I'm gonna kill you twice.
Just a side note, I sent a
Roy Jones Jr. has a great song now too. I brought that to him too.
Yeah.
Can't Be Touched.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell him what you sent me.
Well, I sent him, I do my research and my homework, and I sent Bob some of your videos, and I had sent one without looking at it the whole way through because I'd sent a lot of stuff, and
I said you didn't watch it, did you?
And I came in today and he goes, you didn't watch that, and I was like, why? And then he played the song, and it was a
MNF and this, MNF and that.
But it was good. It was a good video.
It was good. Yeah, it was a great video. It's just the song.
Was it me walking out to a fight?
Yeah.
It was cussing?
Really good.
No, not you. It was the song behind you.
Oh, okay.
Somebody put the two together. It started out with you winning a fight, and then you knocking some people out.
It was like a highlight reel.
Yes, exactly. Right. But the song was right.
How did you get I totally segue and jump all over this. I'm so excited.
I know you're asking.
But how did you get the nickname the Lion?
Good question. I got it from my uncle was always like, yeah, like the Tiger Lily. I'm like, the Tiger. I'm like, I'm never walking out to that Tiger Lily. I'm like, I don't know about that or what you're smoking.
It's a flower, isn't it?
I don't. Yeah. So
it's a character at Disneyland.
Tigger. Thank you. So, anyways, I was fighting Hugo Lopez at the. It was called the. It's called the Novo now in downtown LA, which was called the. Right across the street from Staples Center.
Oh, okay. Nokia.
No, yeah, it's right there. Yeah, Club Nokia. It was Club Nokia.
Right.
So I fought there out of the most out of anybody 13 times. It was nice.
Wow, it's a record.
But anyways, yeah, I had. It was like my third or fourth amateur fight. I fought this guy Hugo Lopez. The funny thing about it, there's two fighters here, Hugo Lopez. So I'm looking up research. This one guy. And I go to weigh-ins, and I'm like, "That's Hugo Lopez. That's not the guy who I was looking up."
And I get in the ring, and there's a totally different guy.
Yeah, I was like, literally, I'm like, that guy's yoked, like straight, like 8-pack. I'm like, all right, well, yes, that's Hugo. Guess it's not Hugo. So anyway, yeah, we do the weigh-ins. On the next day, we go fight, and the first round, he got me with a good punch. And again, I've still been hit several times. I've never been hit and dropped, right? But he got me, boom. He got me good right here, and I felt it, and my whole face ended up going numb.
Oh.
And then after that, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, if he hits me a couple more times, that's probably ain't gonna be good, you know. So I just reacted, and then the round ended. It's 2-minute rounds, amateur fight back in like 2013. And in between rounds, I told my coach, I'm like, that guy hits hard. He's all, he hits hard. He's all, if he hits hard, you hit harder. He's all, go out there and go get him.
Right.
So I began the second round. I'm like, ding, ding, ding. And we can pull it up too. I went out there like if you tie a dog to a tree for a week and you let that leash go,
Right, yeah,
the dog books it. So I ran after him and I ended up knocking him out within 45 seconds.
Really? Because he didn't expect it.
He didn't expect it, and he gassed out. So
Corey's writing it down. 2012.
No, I want to play this bit.
I said
so
you're writing down.
yeah, Hugo Lopez, yeah.
Hugo Lopez.
Because that's gonna be our clip.
Yeah, it was on. It was a good one. But what was I gonna say? So after the fight, we go to get dinner and this and that, and literally this is like still modeling criteria, good looking. This is completely just swollen. So I'm like, all right. So I go home, ice it. A couple days later, I go to work, and they're like, you should go to the doctor. I'm like, all right, what? All right. I'm like, all right, I ain't going to work anyway. So all right. So I go back to the gym, and then boss is there, and boss is like, yeah, you should probably go get that checked out.
He's telling you that it's a problem.
I'm like, really? All right. So I go to the doctor, the nurse, and the doctor, his assistant, the nurse, and she's like, oh my God, weren't you just like in the fight? I'm like, yeah. How'd you know? I'm in Thousand Oaks. She's like, I was there. I was like, what? Really? Yeah. She said some name. I'm like, I trained with that guy. Yeah. I was there supporting him. But you're really good out there. You don't have a nickname, do you? I'm like, no. She's like, you're like a lion out there. You're like, the bell rang. You just came out and you handled your business. Wow. I was like,
oh, there it is.
I'm like, the lion. She's like, yeah, Ryan, the Lion Lilly. I was like,
perfect.
And it came from the nurse, and we'll bust it up. I'm like,
okay.
I think
you know the nurse's name?
I do not. No. I do not.
If you nurse Lion.
Yeah. So
well, if you're listening to this, you're a nurse, comment in, and we'll give you credit.
But you know what
I'll buy you some lunch. So
I always say like there's no accidents. There's always divine appointments, and like that really was one.
Yeah, 100%. Some fighters try to give their name. I never wanted to be that because then it's going to come out, not good. But I felt the whole story behind that and how it came out. And then the next fight, I wasn't like, all right, the Lion, because I didn't have like my logo yet. And I was like, yeah. But then I got a title fight for my amateur fight. And then I hated this guy, Jacob Rosales. F you. Anyways.
We're coming for you, Jacob. You're next.
Yeah. No, he's doing really good in his pro career out there too. So shout out to that. But anyways, we don't like each other. It was like one of those bad blood things. So I'm like, I whipped out I got a logo, and you can show them the logo too, but once you get a chance. But I whipped it out, and I sold a bunch of shirts, got like a banner made, and it was Ryan the Lion Lilly. And then from then on, it was
that's great.
That's
one of the
me.
Coolest things I've seen you do, and this is Bruce Lee's philosophy, is every time somebody attacked him, he'd attack back while they're attacking.
Mm-hmm.
On that clip, I saw somebody either throw a punch or a kick, and as they were throwing a punch, you hit him right in the face and knocked him down.
Yeah. And
they didn't even get to land a punch, but as soon as you see him attack, you went right in and
hit him. Yeah, and then that's just a reaction because that's what you train. Right. So if most
people's reaction is to put up a guard, but you just went right in on it.
Yeah, to beat him my punch to beat him before the kick lands, because if I'm going to kick, I want to set it up with punches to, for example, what you said, get my opponent's hands up, and then my kicks are going to land, right? But if I'm just going to run up there and go to kick you, I see that, I'm just going to pop you in the head. Because for one, you're not blocking it.
What people don't realize, what you may realize, is when you go to attack somebody, that's your most vulnerable spot.
Yeah.
Because you're lunging after him, and bam.
Leaning myself open, So it's always be in your fight stance at all times, So if I'm lunging forward, I'm out of my fight stance, out of distance,
I think that everybody should take a Krav Maga or some kind
100%.
Of course, because I actually was stalked and attacked years ago, and thankfully I was not, he tried to take me from an elevator, and my best friend was with me, and she went into karate mode, and she's never taken a karate class in her life. But after that, I took a Krav Maga class, and what happened at the end of the class is I spent 8 hours in this class learning, and they tell you everything, and there were all ages and sizes of people in there taking this class. And at the end, they put you in this big room, and the Maury Sumlin, he was the guy putting on the class, you get dressed, and he got dressed in padding, and they turn the lights off, and you're standing there, and they play loud music, and you wait for them to attack you. I'm telling you, what happened in that, they said between 0 and 30 seconds, you either live or die.
Yeah.
and you go blank.
Yeah, you just react.
You don't. Some
Right.
people don't.
Right.
They just freeze.
Right.
And having just seen the whole entire tutorial
That's
on how to
a-
react,
that's- yep.
you can freeze. And so the more repetitive you get with that muscle movement of just reacting
Yep.
and getting out of it and just punching back or hitting or kicking, the better chance of survival.
Right, and you can't really teach that. It's like, if you're driving, something comes in front of you, you don't see it just in
Right,
time.
yes.
Where if this building just starts shaking, some people go, "Oh my god, what is?" No, I'm already out the door. I'll think about it when I'm outside.
But it's true,
Yeah.
and that can define your the rest of your life.
Yeah, your speed. Yeah, and anything in life.
Well,
Yeah.
most accidents
Fighting or
happen
anything.
because of 2 seconds
Split
in the
of a
wrong
setting.
time or 4 feet in the wrong direction. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So when's your next fight?
There's no official date yet, but will be in the works. I think things are opening back up.
Do you know who it will be?
No.
And
If
you're
if I knew my opponent, then I would know the date or the venue or yeah.
So
So
your last fight was January?
Yeah, January 30th. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking to get back on the board. Things are starting to pop back up. Audiences, with the whole COVID, there's only certain promotions that have like good sponsors or good TV deals that could really afford to pay for all these professional athletes. Not only that, to fly them out there and a coach, the hotels and everything like that.
Find a
Right.
state that's opened
Open,
up.
yeah. Like amateur fighters, their promotions based off ticket sales. So, and there's no ticket sales, there's no fight, there's no
Right.
promoting. So
you train, and it takes you like a couple weeks to get into your body weight, but you eat pretty healthy, and
I
you
eat
have a
pretty healthy for the most part.
sponsor. I think you have a sponsor that provides you some really, really good meals. You talk about them all the time, and I'm like, these meals sound great.
yeah, right
Tell
now
me a
they're
little bit
always
about
ready
them.
meals. I've had a couple always sponsors and stuff like that. It comes up and down depending on what fight camp I'm with or who I pretty much feel like representing, promoting, stuff like that. But yeah, if you're in Thousand Oaks, I always like Grab a Green, Macro Meals. Matt, he's a good guy. So those are two out here in Thousand Oaks. If you're in Orange County, then Always Ready Meals is where I'd go to.
Always
It's
ready.
always ready meals and macro meals.
Yeah, so we got Always Ready Meals, and then we got Macro Meals, and then we got Grab a Green.
What's Grab a Green?
Grab a Green, they're in Thousand Oaks. They're more of like a smoothie stuff.
Oh,
I
love
was their
that.
first athlete sponsor, and I was the reason why they started doing food preps and stuff like that. But yeah, you can go in there and just get a bowl or go in there and get a juice or a smoothie and stuff like that.
What's your guilty pleasure?
I don't know. I love pizza. I love In-N-Out.
You love In-N-Out?
Yeah. Can't go. Oh, I know. Do you guys like animal style fries?
Yes, I love them with the sauce and the onions and
You-
stuff.
you know-
People who aren't
know how to-
California don't understand it.
You know how to get them for free?
Yeah.
So you go, you
Get
order,
sponsored.
you start fighting.
Yeah. 20 years of fighting.
Just get punched in the face, and then you'll get it for free. I promise. But yeah, the life of a fighter. So so you order. So if I go there, I'm gonna say, hey, I want a number 2. I want grilled onions on my burger and pickles. That's it. And then on my fry, just say I want grilled onions and spread. It's the same thing as animal style fry, just doesn't come with cheese. You're not paying an extra $4.
Oh, I need the cheese.
For people who don't live in California, we have a hamburger place out here called In-N-Out Burger. It's been around since the 50s. In fact, they just opened one in I want to say Colorado or in a different state.
The original one's on Tampa Boulevard.
Yes, but the one they opened out of state, there was a line, I think of 1,000 cars, and it was taking like 6 hours to get your. Anyway, it is the most amazing. Everything is fresh. If you order French fries, when you get them 4 minutes ago, they were a potato.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can watch them drop
They
it through
were.
the thing into it, whatever. But
Yes.
and it's almost like what was it, Johnny Rockets, where they have like 4 things on the menu. So they have hamburger, cheeseburger, double cheeseburger. I think they have a grilled cheese.
Yeah,
And then the shakes and sodas, and that's their menu. But they have a secret menu that they don't tell you about.
Yep.
And you got to know, like they have a dog menu. They
Oh,
have
a puppy patty.
Yeah.
but it's not on the menu. You got to know. And they have
Protein.
protein style. They don't have it on the menu.
I
You
eat
just
the
gotta get
protein style.
which
That's
is
wrapped
no
in a
bun
head of
or
lettuce.
lettuce, right?
Yep.
They have animal style, which is all the sauces and a thousand
Everything.
dressing, everything else.
Grilled
on it.
onions.
But you just got to know it, or you got to know somebody who knows it,
Exactly.
and they got to tell you about it. So
Did
yeah.
you know this? That they're a Christian company, and on the bottom of every cup it says John 3:16. For
Yes, I
God so
did.
loved the
I did.
world that He gave His only
Oh.
begotten Son.
And by the way, they're in Vegas too, so they're in Nevada. So it's California, Nevada.
That one's always packed.
The one on Vegas, right off of
That one, yeah, right there, and then especially the one in
D. Martin Drive.
yeah, and then the LAX. That one's just people out there with their suitcases in line.
Now these are
I swear I walked in.
these are places where. So I play a lot of hockey. We would end it would close at like 2 a.m. We'd get there at 1:30, and there's a line of 50, 100 people.
Mm-hmm.
So there are places in the valley that open up 24 hours. Some of the places are about the size of this room, but
Yep.
10 by 12. You can't eat inside, right? Yeah. Outdoors, you go through, you pick it up, and you sit outside, and there are hundreds of people in line.
Yep.
So, yeah.
If you work at In-N-Out Burger, you're working. And I heard they get pretty decently too.
They do. They're all great.
Paper clips on their uniforms and stuff, and their hats. Yeah, they all look exactly alike. They're safety pins. Yeah, but it is an amazing, amazing place, and it never went national, so everything's still fresh. They've never frozen anything.
They did that on purpose. They didn't sell out. They were like,
they need to be one of our sponsors. We'll talk about
they're actually really good. I used to work on a show called The Home and Family Show, and they'd have the In-N-Out truck come up, and we would just scarf down. I mean, their buns are so good. But
when I can't have something, when I'm losing weight, that's my go-to. And I end up seeing myself eating a protein salad.
Yeah.
Burger. I'm like, this isn't bad. Is it just a burger? No fries, just a burger. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be here.
What's on your playlist, your musical playlist? Because I know for fighters. Okay, let's just.
Pop Smoke has been playing recently, but I'm more. Pop Smoke. He just passed away not too long ago. He got shot. And before he got passed away, I wasn't really a fan of his music. He's a rapper. I like him.
Because, the movie Rocky, the song became... We had Frank Stallone on the show, and, he had like 8 songs in the show. But The Eye of the Tiger is pretty powerful and well-known.
You can't go wrong with that song.
Can't go wrong with that song.
If that doesn't pump you up a little bit and make you want to jump up, move a little bit.
It is the one song that gets you going. Every high school in the world plays it for their sports team.
They do. Yeah. Walk out for your high school basketball team. They run out to that.
Right. I want to touch on something just for a second because you mentioned, and I know I think I probably had this conversation with you in the past, but my daughter, you've met her, and she's 20, will be 22, and she's
what, in San Diego?
She's in San Diego, and she went to Oaks, and she was a water polo player.
Okay,
I've talked a little bit about this, but when anyone ever says you can't or you won't or don't, I believe, great things are coming.
Yeah. What's more motivating than that too?
Yeah. Because, it's just a fact that it puts it into action. And she was told that she couldn't play soccer. And so she came home one day and said that she did not get picked for the soccer team. And I was like, well, let's cry about it tonight. Mm-hmm. And tomorrow you'll go get on the water polo team. And the next day I picked her up from school. She was 15. Mm-hmm. She had never played water polo in her life. And she came in the car. She said, I got on the team, Mommy. And then the next year, she won a bronze medal. And then the next year, another bronze medal at the Junior Olympics. Right. And my point is to your point 25 minutes ago. You couldn't play what you wanted to play. And then basketball.
Yeah.
But then you went and you didn't let that get you down.
Right.
And you went the next day and you got on same day.
Yeah.
And you got
on turned down.
From getting turned down, and you went and got on the wrestling team. And now you're a pro MMA fighter. And so to anyone out there that feels like somebody has said, you can't do it or you won't do it.
Yeah. For one, again, like I was saying earlier, it's too late to quit. Turn a negative into a positive no matter what. I got that from my dad, If something doesn't go my way or something, just no matter what, it could be turned around. So no matter what, if it could turn into a negative, you could always turn it into a positive. So just think positive, treat people how you want to be treated. What could I do today to make tomorrow easier? Mm-hmm. If you do that, should not have too many problems.
One of the things that's great advice, and I'm always, people ridicule people really easy, but
not so much Ryan.
Not so much Ryan.
Yeah,
from a distance.
If people are talking bad about me, I'm doing something right. That's all I gotta say.
They're not complaining. You're doing something wrong.
Well, but here's a little fact about you, Ryan. That I did talk about this earlier, but you are so good to the people around you and your friends. You're just a kind, good person. And people see fighting pro MMA as a fighter, but they don't know who you really are. And it's like my daughter would get in the pool and she'd become this massive beast in the water polo pool. And then she'd get out and she was like...
Yeah, nice.
Right?
Super nice, yeah. So, it's just giving back. Again, I know what it's like to have nothing. I know what it's like to lose people. So, again, just keeping good people around you is treating them how you want to be treated. I don't see how that could go wrong,
Mm-hmm.
You never know when you need somebody either.
You find with a lot of fighters, MMA, boxers, that they are nice people. You're in a disciplined sport.
Yeah.
almost like the military, but
Mhm.
you're in a sport where, you know your limitations, you know other people's, but you're also very nice and very,
Right.
you find very few MMA fighters who are just like out there.
And that's
Go
like another
crazy
thing,
'cause
going back
they
to
know
like
the training.
the street fighting and stuff like that. It's like for MMA fighters, something that's like the least thing you would ever want to do is go and hurt someone because you physically know that it's not even like a challenge. Like there's no fight there. It's like, okay, you think you're gonna say we're gonna fight, but it's really not even gonna be a fight. I'm just gonna like hold you down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Pretty much like so. That's why I like training, and even if you don't, I'm not trying to be a fighter. If you can go to the gym, you'll love it. I promise.
Well, it's clinically proven that it creates endorphins and serotonin and all the good chemicals in our body that it really is kind of like a natural high.
Yeah,
And
it
keeps
really
you
is.
going.
Like when you're getting your hand raised that high, there's no brush that could buy that.
Right.
There's no drug that could replace that high. And that's another reason why you like fighting so much. You're like, I want that. I can only go post so many pictures. I want another one, another one.
I watch you, and every time you run, you just leap up on top of the cage.
Yeah.
And go right
And
up
I
there.
love
But
that.
you walk up on top there like you're walking across a room. All of a sudden, you're sitting up there. Yeah.
And it gets one of those things that you don't plan. You just do it.
Yeah.
So it's like,
well, that's pretty for a guy 5'7", or 5'8".
Yeah, 5'7". Yeah.
It's pretty high up there, but
Yeah.
you're in 2 steps. You're up on top, and
Normally, when I'm up there, I'm like, Mom, I know you're watching.
Oh.
I got you.
All right, Corey, book time at the gym. You, me, and Ryan. Where's your gym, by the way?
Literally, Boss Root Elite MMA. It's on Hampshire and Westlake Boulevard. So
2 blocks from here.
I could hit a golf ball over there. Yeah. So if you know like the Border Dash,
Yeah,
right underneath there.
Right underneath. I'll come see you.
So yeah, come by. I teach Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then also that I do private training there. So more than welcome, come get a free workout.
Well, I'm gonna do private training because I don't get my ass kicked.
No. Do
Wait a minute, I'll pay you to private train Bob.
There we go. We can
I'll
do that.
videotape it.
Double. Let me kick your butt. Hey, Corey.
There we go. Yeah, in front of the camera over there.
Yeah.
I got a new reel for the.
Now the only
video.
rule I have is you can't teach my wife how to beat me up.
There you go.
But other than that, yeah.
There you go.
I can. I'm just kidding. Well, so what is just I have like 3 questions I'm going to ask you in a second.
Ask them what you ask other people. When you're in training for a fight, what's your day's routine?
Yeah.
I try to do 2 or 3 days. So again, like when you said you're learning self-defense or Krav Maga and you're in there 8 hours, if I'm in a class for 2 hours and someone's telling me 20 different things, I'm really going to learn one. Okay. So it's important to don't overtrain, listen to your body. But for me, get up, try to run fast. So try not to eat past 5:30, 6:30 p.m. When I wake up, try to run at least try to run like 2 or 3 miles in the morning. Don't eat past an hour. Don't eat after that for an hour. Now my body's really fasting. Okay. I might have like a juice or a smoothie or something like that. So can I eat light or a little egg, spinach, and then rest a little bit, and then really hit it hard in the evening. So either be 1-on-1, kickboxing or boxing, or just really either jiu-jitsu or wrestling. So if I'm doing wrestling or jiu-jitsu one day, the next day I'll be doing kickboxing and boxing, and then switch it back and forth. That way my body's not just getting drained too much. Now if I'm fighting a wrestler or a jiu-jitsu guy, I'll be working on my jiu-jitsu a little bit more. But at the end of the day, the fight starts at standing up. I'm not too worried about my opponent. I just look at their strengths and weaknesses, and then I just do what I'm good at.
Do you modify your fighting style based on your opponent?
Not too much. I mean, my fighting style, I'm very unorthodox and freestyle. Like I moved to orthodox to southpaw a lot. So like right-handed and left-handed, I'm really comfortable. If I feel like someone's stronger on one side, then I'll hold back. Or if someone's good at catching my kicks, throw more punches to set them up.
Well, you got to assume that they've seen all your fights too.
Yeah,
So if you get a guy who's a wrestler and you're not, do you think he's going to change his style to match you, and you're going to change your style?
He's going to want to take me down.
He's going
to get me tired, because once we're wrestling and then we get back to standing up, all that lactic acid in your arm, you're like, oh wait, that's why I'm going back to give boxers a lot of credit, because they have to keep their arms up all the time. But in MMA, I could hold on to you and how much time left?
Yeah. There was
we call that lay and pray.
When it used to be OLN, used to have the Kings games.
Right.
And so I'd watch that, and then I'd fall asleep, and then they would always do either MMA or some kind of mixed martial or boxing, whatever, at night. So I'd wake up and I'd watch it, and they did I can't remember the guy's name, but they did a whole thing on him. he wasn't a puncher. He would just get in and tie you up and put so like a snake.
Yeah.
So much pressure.
Yeah.
But he was like 15-0. But the first round, he would sit there and literally get his face smashed in, and he would just bide his time. Then all of a sudden, he'd get in, and once he got in there, you're done.
Yeah, yep.
So every time his hand was raised, he's dripping blood. The opponent's not, but he win it because he would just have to get in there, and that was his style.
Yeah. So. Yeah, a lot of times too, if you're not sweating after a fight, then you're like, did I even put all of my in there?
Yeah.
You know.
What was one of your worst injuries? Anything broken?
Just the fracture orbital bone, but just recently.
Mary Beth Johnson.
Just recently, I went back to training after my last fight. Excuse me.
He didn't hear that.
And
Mary Beth Johnson in 3rd grade. She broke.
Yeah. She broke
Violin.
Yeah, she checked the wrong box. Yeah. Just recently, I was training and I was sparring, and my knee popped twice just recently. And it's the first time I've done that, and I was going to take him down, which I still took him down, and it happened in the first round. In my head, I'm like thinking like a sprained ankle, just get up, walk it off. So I was like, oh, just keep going. Probably not the best, smartest thing. So that was on a Wednesday about 3 weeks ago, literally 3 weeks ago tomorrow. And then I get up Thursday morning, get out of bed, and I couldn't even get out of bed. My legs swelled up. I'm like, oh man.
Was it dislocated?
So it just popped twice. So I'm like, I don't know what happened. So I went to the emergency room on Friday.
And you're wearing, is that just a brace?
Just a brace. So and again, I was on crutches. So I took an X-ray. The X-ray came out good, but you can't really tell what's torn or anything. There's just okay, it's not broken. So they're like, all right, if it's not better in a week and the swelling doesn't go down and the pain, then come back. And I'm good with pain, but it was nagging, and especially turning in bed and stuff like that. And they prescribed me medicine. I didn't even take it because I don't take pills. And then when COVID hit, I lost due to less of work. I was on unemployment, so then my insurance stopped working. So I just applied for insurance, and it goes through on the 1st.
Oh my gosh!
So I'm gonna go get an MRI.
So,
I had a crazy leg brace, but now this is better. I don't like sitting down, and I got ADD, so I just went on my first hike. Since then, so 3 weeks. I just went on my first hike. I went to Santa Barbara. And we went to the hot springs.
Oh.
It was really nice. It was like a mile there, mile back. But when you get there, hot springs was like 5 different pools. I got like that dark mud.
It's actually probably a good thing to go immerse yourself in.
That. And I got that mud or whatever. I put it on my face, and it felt so good.
I was going to say, your skin looks really great. It does. I really was.
Corey, I had the same problem. I had my shoulder. It was like almost popped out and everything. I realized I slept wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I slept on my
shoulder.
It'll happen. When you get to be my age, you sleep wrong. And you can't
I don't know that yet, but that's okay.
Even me lately.
When I get there, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Lately, I haven't been waking up, and I'm like, either cleansing my blood artery off, but I wake up, my hand's dead or something. You're like,
I hate that.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
Ryan, welcome to our age.
I don't like that
10, 15 years, you're going to wake up and go, I can't move.
Yeah, no, seriously. I'm like picking up my hand. I'm like,
I have friends who've thrown their back out reaching for dishes in the rack. So, yeah. So I play a lot of hockey, and 20 years ago, we'd all get in the locker room after the game. Did you see the way I pulled a move on that guy? Did you see the way I deked that goalie? Now we're on the bar going, oh, I got hurt doing this. I got hurt doing that.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I completely forgot. This is one of my dresses from Beverly Hills Pawn, the show Beverly Hills Pawn. And I'm wearing it all day today for a reason. And I'm giving it away to I have 5 of them. And I designed them with a company called Stop Staring. And we are going to say one word in a second. And the people that write that word in the comments, we'll put all those people into a hat, and we will auction this dress off, and they'll get it for free.
Nice.
So
it
Ryan,
does look really nice.
Thank you so much. But you can pick the word.
Any word?
Any word, and if the people hear it and they type it in the comments, we'll
well, this word will go towards you, but I'll think the word I think is thoughtful.
Oh, thank you.
So thoughtful. I don't know if that goes with the dress.
Thank you. Thoughtful. We'll write that down. Thank you.
And then giving away for free is also thoughtful.
Yes.
Thank you. So if you're listening or watching, type the word thoughtful in and we'll enter into a contest and you'll get this dress.
Nice.
I'll have it dry cleaned. Because I've been in it all day in this
We're gonna
sweaty room.
We're going to get some creepers off there.
Yeah.
I'll buy the dress.
Yeah. I don't want you to clean it.
Yeah.
Well,
No clean.
it's kind of considered Hollywood memorabilia. I mean,
It
it was
is
on
Hollywood
a show
memorabilia.
100%.
that was,
100%.
so we'll
It's
we'll
5 seasons, right?
thoughtful. 5 seasons, 66 episodes. This
Longer
dress
than a lot
has
of shows.
seen.
It's long in the WKRP. It's long in the new WKRP.
Oh, there's a new one?
There was a new one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for giving me that word. And now Bob is going to challenge all of us with his.
All both of you. Okay, we're gonna play a little game called the I should have done. I didn't do the
I
right
don't-
one.
I did pass high school, by the way, but I'm not.
That's
Listen,
I'm gonna give
I
you the
have-
I get hit
answers.
in the head for
I
living.
have
okay?
flunked this
All right,
entire
I get hit in the
test.
head, dude. Let's
This
all
is-
put that in thought.
And this is we're just gonna do one type thing.
Wait, I'm
And-
prefacing this
Yes.
because Ryan is an electrical genius, by the by.
Oh.
And he has his own company. He's an
I should've done
electrical
circuit
genius.
boards and-
No, like he is.
Right.
And my brother's an electrician and he's took the test. He is a genius. You got to know what you're doing when you're dealing with electricity. So go ahead.
So these are the names of animals. They're groups in their names. In other words, a human male is a baby, a female, right? So, like a human cat is a kitten, that kind of thing. Okay.
Mhm.
So a dinosaur. There's a herbivore and there's a carnivore. So for the which is different depending on which dinosaur it is. So a dinosaur baby for a herbivore is either a calf, a hatchling, a foal, or a pugil.
Halfway.
I'm going to say the same thing.
Hatchling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
That is-
Anyway.
yeah.
Oh,
Ding, ding,
All right.
ding,
The
ding, ding.
female
Round one.
is a
Ryan.
nanny, a velvet, a hen, or a cow.
repeat those.
Nanny, velvet, hen, or cow.
I'm gonna go with Hanny.
Cow.
Yes, cow.
Ooh.
Cow.
Ooh.
Now the
So
male,
that's a female
a
dinosaur.
female herbivore dinosaur is a cow.
Okay.
Now you pay attention because the male is either a sire, a bull, a stud, or a drake.
A bull.
Yes.
I'm going to go.
You have to go both. One's a cow, the other one
Yeah,
has to be a
yeah,
bull.
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
But the
yeah.
trick is a group of herbivore dinosaurs. Is it a group, a family, a herd, or a colony?
A group of herbivore, is it a group, a herd, a colony, or a
Family.
group?
I'll say C. I forget what it was.
Yeah, herd. You got it.
Oh, oh 3-2?
Yeah.
Ah.
And then the last one we'll do the carnivore dinosaurs. The baby is either a kit, a pharaoh, a juvenile, or a puggle. I think it's puggle.
A what?
Kit,
No, but what's the question? I'm so
a
sorry.
baby carnivore dinosaur. Baby
Okay,
dinosaur.
right,
means
right. Is a
Kit, a pharaoh, a juvenile, or a puggle or puggle.
juvenile.
That's a good one, but I'll go Kit.
It was juvenile.
Dang it.
Hey, I tied Ryan
Yes,
Lilly.
you did.
Oh my gosh, I
All right.
tied Ryan the
Good
lion.
job.
So now the
She said that. I was like, oh.
the female carnivore dinosaur: velvet, nanny, doe, flyer.
Velvet.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Should have picked doe. It's doe.
Is it?
You had it. You always go with your first.
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. Always go.
Always
first.
go with your first guess.
I thought that was your first. That was your.
The male, emperor, buck, gander, or hop.
Gander.
Oh,
Think doe.
though.
No, doe is the female. The male would be, think deer. It's a buck.
Doe,
Oh,
a deer.
okay, I
Okay.
get it.
How
Lastly-
many are there?
Then later tied. There's one more. They're a group of carnivore dinosaur is either a herd, a pack, a pride, or a wedge.
Pride.
I know you wanted to say pride is lion, so guess something else.
What was the first
It's
one?
either going to be a herd, a pack, or a wedge.
A pack.
Heard.
Nope, pack.
Damn
Oh.
it. You got me.
I
Cool.
got you, Ryan. Oh my gosh, which is like that's amazing.
I don't like
so,
losing.
So well,
You don't do it often.
well, you're not. You're amazing. So we have 3 questions,
You
and then
should
we're
say, I
gonna
don't like
let
losing,
you.
but if I have to lose, I'm happy.
Yeah,
to.
yeah. Thank you, Corey.
We're gonna get you out of here in 2 seconds.
No worries.
So
Going straight to the gym.
So 3 words to describe yourself.
Fearless, caring, thoughtful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
No, say like a question. Say it. Yeah.
Yeah,
thoughtful.
I
You are
totally
very
agree with
thoughtful.
that.
I'm thoughtful.
Those are all the things I said about you when you weren't here.
Ah.
We're gonna play the Rorschach test. It's an ink blot test. So
Mhm.
you're gonna just say the first thing that you see on this paper. They're just ink blots. I don't know if you've heard of that, but
Okay.
It's like you're looking at a cloud. What do you see in the cloud? What do you see in the ink?
but Bob makes me do this. So
A crab.
oh,
That's, you're out of
Out
order.
of
Hold on,
order.
take that out of your mind. She's out of
hold
order.
on, I'm out of order. I'm always out of order.
You're out of order.
Okay,
A pumpkin.
that's what I see every time. Smart minds think alike.
For some reason, I see a cat.
Okay. There's no right or wrong, by the way.
Okay. A bat.
Everyone sees that. Huh?
The guy from Scream, like this. It looks like a
Mask.
like a mask.
Yeah.
it does
Like a
look
like a
A
mask.
scream. Yeah, you're
Now,
right.
you want to know why? Because it doesn't matter what you say.
Uh-huh.
You know why you're emotionally healthy?
Yeah, you gotta be
Your
on
answers
it.
are very quick. You didn't
Yeah.
spend 10 minutes thinking about it. You were like, "This is what I see."
Right. Right.
That by the way, that's the test. It's how fast you come up with answers and whether you second guess yourself and everything else. It's not what you see.
Wow. Okay. Wow. You're emotionally
Yeah.
healthy.
Yeah.
You're right there. You're mentally
and
stable.
Yeah.
You're-
Just do it.
You're our last question,
Mm.
and I don't want you to don't feel obligated to pick me at all remotely. But go ahead if you want.
Read the room, Ryan.
read
the
the fine
room.
line. Who's your celebrity crush?
Oh, good
Oh.
question. I don't know. I don't know if I even have one, to be honest.
Read the room, Ryan. Read the
I
room.
know. I know. I mean, I've had one. Her name's Cory out there. She's always been nice.
You're
Yeah. I don't know
kidding
if she's
me.
ever.
Oh my gosh, that's
Do you guys,
so
do you guys know
crazy.
who that is out there?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know. I don't really get starstruck too often. I mean, the only one I really got starstruck was when I met Kobe Bryant.
Right.
Love that guy.
Yeah.
But rest in peace. But
Yeah. Well, he can be your celebrity crush. That's like a
no,
man
I'm
crush.
not,
Like
I
that.
don't, I'm not,
I don't
yeah,
mean it
I'm
like that. A lot of
not-
people have said, this person inspires me, or this person is, celebrity
Yeah.
crush
Jack
doesn't
Wagner
mean.
said Roger Federer.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I mean, role model, I'd say Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, I
You
do
know?
too. That's a great one.
Girls, there's a lot of girls out there.
Which girl? What celebrity you want to date right now?
He doesn't need to do
I
that.
don't
He's
know.
got celebrities
She could
coming
listen
after
to the
him.
know.
show. She could be
He
listening
is
to the
a
show.
celebrity.
Then go high.
She's still single. Okay,
Go
maybe
high.
I got a lunch date. No, sorry.
I love you, Ryan.
We're good.
I can't even thank you enough for coming by today. Let's tell people
Thanks
really
for having
quickly
me.
where we can get all of your goods. Your
You can find me on Instagram, Ryan Lilly. It's Ryan _ then Lion _ Lilly. Last name is Lilley. Also on Facebook, just Ryan Lilly. You can see a lot of my past fights and upcoming fights on my social media. You can go to YouTube, just YouTube myself, Ryan Lilly, and you'll definitely see some good footage of myself.
Well, we look forward to seeing your next fight. Hopefully, if it's local, Bob and I will be there cheering you
Thank
on.
you. If it's
Even
not,
if it's not, you tell us where it is. We're gonna be there.
thank you.
Aw.
You will definitely be on TV or some stream, so you'll definitely be able to see it one way or another.
Yeah. Thank you,
You know,
Ryan. We
gotcha.
love
Thank you
you,
for
and we
having me.
just hope and pray you are blessed.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And we're out.
Hi, guys. I'm Cory Oliver, and thank you for watching The Coriolis Effect. We hope you enjoyed the previous episode. Here are some more episodes you might enjoy. Hit the subscribe button below, and have a great day.